Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. Well, after I made the Golden State Warriors video, the Pacers made Obi Toppin and Buddy Hield available for trade. And a lot of people don't want to trade Obi Toppin. A lot of people don't want to trade Buddy Hield. But the fact of the matter is, once we traded for Pascal Siakam, this was kind of inevitable. It was pretty obvious that Obi Toppin was going to be the odd man out. I mean, trading for Siakam means you have a logjam at the 4 spot. You have Jarris Walker, you have Jalen Smith, you have Pascal Siakam, and you have Obi Toppin. Okay? It's 4 power forwards. You don't need that many. And Buddy Hield, as good of a three-point shooter as he is, the dude's a traffic cone on defense. Like, let's just call it what it is. You know, after the Siakam trade, a lot of people, people online, like professional athletes with podcasts and stuff, everybody thought for sure, like, after we traded for Pascal Siakam, that we were keeping Buddy Hield. And to be honest, like, the truth is, if we were keeping Buddy Hield, like, a contract would have been agreed on a long time ago. And I think that's the same thing as everybody else around the NBA who hasn't worked out their contracts yet. Guys like Paul George, right? Like, Paul George, Markelle Fultz, a lot of these guys, like, if they don't get deals done here within the next week, they're going to be unrestricted free agents at the end of the season. And listen, man, as much as I like Buddy Hield's three-point shooting, I think we can find somebody better. Honestly, if you package Obi Toppin with Buddy Hield and a first round pick maybe or something like that, I don't even know how many first round picks we have left. I have to kind of look at what we got going on the trade machine real quick. Let's see, if we go to the Indiana Pacers, do we have any draft picks left, first rounders? Yeah, we got a 2025, a 2027. Okay, so we got first round picks left. If you offer like Buddy Hield and Obi Toppin and a future first round pick to somebody, you could actually potentially get a wing player. Okay. And really it's anybody in the range of $25 to $30 million. That's what we could go after. So DeMar DeRozan, Mikal Bridges, Chris Middleton, I fucking hate this option, but Andrew Wiggins, that's the goal. Like, I don't know if people understand that, but that's the purpose of this. The whole purpose of making Buddy Hield, Obi Toppin, and that future first available is to try to find another wing player to put next to Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. The Pacers are officially making an all-in move. Obviously Siakam was the first pin to fall, but it's obvious we're going to need just a little bit more if we really want to, like, do something crazy. If we could somehow finesse the Brooklyn Nets out of Mikal Bridges, that would be fucking insane. Because having, Tyrese Halliburton, Mikal Bridges, and Pascal Siakam all on the same team would be... It would be a damn good roster. And Mikal Bridges is on a very team-friendly deal. Like, I think he's got 3 years left on his deal. So if you could pull off something like that, it would be awesome. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like, it would be awesome. There's not a lot of guys in the league that I look at and I'm just like, yeah, like that's a guy that I really want for the $25 to $30 million range. A lot of people are talking about Gordon Hayward. I'm just gonna be honest. No. Okay. Let me actually, let me clarify. Fuck no. Okay. Gordon Hayward is most likely gonna be a buyout candidate. Okay. Do not trade for Gordon Hayward. Okay. He's a guy that's most likely gonna be on the buyout market. If we want to bring him in, we can sign him to a vet minimum deal. Okay. So trading for him is kind of out of the question. But, as I look around the league, there's not really a lot of guys that I look at that are, like, maybe available. I mean, Tobias Harris, maybe. Tobias Harris is a guy that we could maybe bring in from the 76ers if we gave up Obi Toppin, Buddy Hield, and a first-round pick. Like, Obi Toppin's not the worst option in the world. He's probably one of the more ideal options. You know, Zach LaVine's not really a guy that I really want to put all my eggs into that basket. I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, Zach LaVine is a bona fide 20-point per game scorer, but, I mean, we already suck at defense. We don't really need somebody else that sucks at defense. But there's not really a whole bunch of guys I said. Like, Mikal Bridges would be awesome. I was going to call it what it is. Like, Mikal Bridges, I could fuck with that. I could fuck with that pretty heavy. Yeah, there's not really a lot of guys I look at and I'm like, okay, like Kyle Kuzma's a possibility. I don't know. It's just, there's not a lot of guys that I look at and I'm like, yeah, that's somebody we should go after. The Timberwolves aren't probably trading anybody. The Thunder are, they're not trading Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's not get crazy. But, like, there's some guys out there that might be available. You know, like honestly, the three guys that I would look at the most in, like, an Obi Toppin, Buddy Hield first-round pick deal are DeMar DeRozan, Chris Middleton, and Tobias Harris. Like, those are the three guys that I'm just like, yeah, they're guys that we would trade for. Andrew Wiggins, I don't think is going to happen. I don't think Andrew Wiggins is even that good, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people had their speculation on him and stuff like that, but he's not really a guy that I think moves the needle a whole lot. Tobias Harris would be a nice pickup. Tobias Harris is 6'8". He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He shoots threes pretty well. He's got a little bit of a post-up game. Tobias Harris is not a guy that I'd be mad about. DeRozan's a guy who's a killer from mid-range. You know, he's a decent defender. He's not great. Chris Middleton is a guy who seems to be relegated to a third role option over on the Bucks. You know, he just signed a deal. He's 32. He's not 34, but he's a guy that I could see us going after. It's just, there's a lot of guys that there's a lot of guys in that range. There's not many guys that I look at and I'm like, yeah, they'll be willing to trade him. We don't want James Harden under any circumstance because James Harden is, he's like the only whore in the NBA. CJ McCollum, maybe. CJ McCollum's not a horrible chance. Brandon Ingram, like, I don't think the Pelicans are giving up either of these guys, though. I don't think they're giving up Brandon Ingram, and I don't think they're giving up CJ McCollum. They'd maybe come off of Jonas Valanciunas. Herb Jones would be nice, but Herb Jones doesn't really fit that profile. Herb Jones for Buddy Hield, I mean, they already can't re-sign people, so I don't think they're going to want Buddy Hield. Kyrie Irving is a no. Who does Sacramento have? De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis. Nope, they're not going to be coming. Literally nobody on the Suns except for Devin Booker, and we know that's not happening. The Utah Jazz, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson's something I could fuck with. We kind of do need like a bona fide six man off the bench that can get buckets. Jordan Clarkson fits that bill, but he's 31. I don't know if he's a real needle mover. John Collins is out of the question because we just got Siakam. You know, I look around the league and there's not a lot of guys that I'm just like, yeah, that's a guy we should go after. The Lakers have fucking nobody in that range. Dylan Brooks, I mean, Dylan Brooks has been shooting the three better this year, supposedly. So, like, really, there's just not a lot of guys that I look at and I'm like, yeah, that's the guy, you know. Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, nope, those guys aren't getting traded. So, yeah, the options are limited. Jeremy Grant's out there, but I'm not super high on Jeremy Grant. He's okay. I mean, he's not the worst option in the world. It's just his contract is fucking ridiculous. Like, his contract is insane for what he actually does. And then the Spurs, it's like Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson would be nice, but he's playing so well for them that I highly doubt they're going to come off of him. So, yeah, the three guys I mentioned are, like, the guys that you should maybe look out for. DeRozan, Harris, and Chris Middleton. Those are the main guys. I don't know. Maybe we go a different route, but I kind of doubt it. If we're giving up Buddy Hield and Obi Toppin plus a first-round pick, I expect us to go after somebody who can play the three, who can play some defense, who can score, and really there's only like three guys that fit that profile. DeRozan, Harris, and Chris Middleton. And even Chris Middleton's not a model of defense. So I don't know, man. It's just, you know what? I don't know why people are so shocked that Obi Toppin and Buddy Hield have become available, because the fact of the matter is, it was gonna happen. Like they were not gonna relegate. They weren't trading Jarvis Walker. Like, we know that. Like, they're not gonna give up on the 8th overall pick in this last year's draft just to fucking trade him, right? Because Jarvis Walker, I think, is a guy with a lot of promise. He just needs some opportunity. Jalen Smith has been having a career year. You know they're not getting rid of him. And we just traded for Siakam. So, really, it's like, it was pretty obvious. Like, it was pretty obvious this was going to happen. Everyone's like, oh, don't trade Obi. Don't trade Buddy. I mean, do you want to get better on defense or not? Like, that's the question I got to ask people. Because everybody's worried about what we do offensively. But if your defense is ranked 26th in the NBA, which is, I believe, where we're at right now, okay? If your defense is ranked 26th in the NBA, you're not winning a championship. You are not making a championship run, okay? So you're better off trading for one of these guys that, like DeRozan, you could probably bring back, okay? Especially if you put him next to Siakam and Halliburton. Tobias Harris is a guy you could probably bring back if you put him next to, Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton. Now, how much better does that make our team? I don't really know. Mikal Bridges would be ideal. And the thing is, they're trying to acquire DeJounte Murray. But if they could get Mikal Bridges, right? Mikal Bridges would be the ideal candidate, right? If Kevin Pritchard could pull that off, we're going for it. Yeah, at least, if not this year, in the next couple years, okay, in the next 2 to 3. And 3, I don't hear anybody bitching about Kevin Pritchard anymore, okay? He pulled off the Halliburton trade. He pulled off the Siakam trade. If he pulls off a trade for Mikal Bridges, who, by the way, is like one of the best two-way players in the league. I mean, right now he's playing for the Brooklyn Nets and they're fucking horrendous, so dude doesn't really have like a whole lot of motivation to be good, especially when their team doesn't have any fucking direction. If we can pull off Mikal Bridges would be a dream scenario. Like, it's almost pie in the sky level, okay? But if Brooklyn says we're coming off everybody, Buddy Hield, Obi Toppin, fuck it. I mean, honestly, if you got to throw Andrew Nembhard in there, you got to throw Andrew Nembhard in there, okay? And a first-round pick, I'm for it, okay? It's just the idea, like, and not only that, but that gives us a legit, like, Mikal Bridges can ball, okay? I think we all know that. Mikal Bridges, given the opportunity and not having to, I mean, he's only going to average like 20 points a game for us, if that. But if you can land Mikal Bridges, we at least know we got a guy that's capable of scoring 26 points a game, like based on what he did at the end of last season. So all I'm saying is, this is not a shocker to me, and people should not be surprised that they're available. But I'm very, very interested to see what the Pacers can pull off for these two guys plus a pick, because that's what I think is going to happen. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. The like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.